Hi viewers, here's a quick look at a +5 extension for the HK P30, P30L series. Taylor Freelance, who many should know from many other extensions for other types of competition guns out there, is the company that put this together. Features aluminum body, a longer magazine spring for consistent feeding and slide lock back, a stainless steel lock plate that holds it on. Locks it to the magazine body, and a couple of screws with Loctite patches on them. These should hold up well to match abuse. The extensions were originally created for the U.S. Border Patrol TAC unit by their request, and then some 3-gun competition guys got wind of them, and Freelance now offers them on their site. Given that aftermarket parts like these aren't that common for our HK users like myself, these are very welcome product and basically a must-have. You know, if you're going to shoot 3-gun, as those extra 5 rounds are significant in competition. Assembly-wise, they're very simple to add on. You just mainly take off your base plate and you set that aside. The locking plate you set aside with the original spring. You set those aside. You're going to use a follower in the mag body, of course, and you just insert the new spring into the follower, insert that into the mag body, and what Freelance recommends doing is sticking the spring on into the extension and then kind of bending it and sliding it on. I found it easier to just compress the thing down and then slide the extension on myself, as long as you can get a good grip on the spring, and then it snaps right into place like that. And then you install the steel locking plate with the 2 screws and tighten those down. So it's a very simple to assemble, very quick obviously, and the screws go in very easily. Tighten down in the aluminum base, so you've got a good threads in there. It's nicely machined, and simple as that, you're done. They're nicely finished. They fit well. I put a number of rounds through 4 of these. I've got 4 different mags with these on them. About 350 rounds in practice, and just a couple matches so far. They've fed consistently with 124 grain. Full metal jacket, 9mm ammo, no problems feeding. I've run Blake drills, Bill drills, quick target transitions. You know, they've locked the slide back, so they've worked well. No problems with them so far. I've dropped them on the range that I use with the gravel and basically hard pack sand. So you see some dings on there and such. On the finish, not a big deal at all, and I don't think you're going to have any problems beating these up and causing any failures based off match abuse. The modification that Taylor Freelance recommends to your frame is the P30 and P30L frame, same frame obviously, or actually different frame, sorry. It has a step right here. It's pretty square. I recommend chamfering it and then going off and then rounding it so that you basically get a nice lead in with this locking plate, because that locking plate is stainless steel. It's thin, but it could catch on that step. So you chamfer that, you get a clean insertion. The other thing I've found is, one thing I like about HK pistols is you hit that mag release and the mag basically jumps out, and to me, I like that. And when you put this extension on with this locking plate, it actually kind of rubs on the back of the mag well right here. And what I was finding was that you'd hit it and the mag would just spring out. It would just basically stay there, almost like a Glock mag will do and such. That annoyed me, so I went in and sanded inside the mag well right here and took some material off so that you get a very smooth insertion. And get that mag to spring out like that, and especially if you have some rounds in it. It's got some weight to it, it'll fall out more easily. But if you did go empty, you want to be able to just hit that and the mag's just going to spring out. So that's a good feature that I like is a simple modification. So that's up to you if you want to modify your frame to do that or not. The only downside that I found to these so far is it's a little tedious to disassemble them if you wanted to clean them. Well, is it that big of a deal to remove 2 screws? No, but compared to, you know, the factory magazine where you basically just have the locking plate and you just depress that and the mag comes apart, it's a little more tedious to, you know, undo a couple screws and take the plate off and then take the extension off and then, you know, have to compress it back down to reassemble. There's also some other mag extensions on the market for other guns, right, where they just have a simple locking plate and you slide the locking plate and then the extension comes off. So it's a little bit easier, but 2 screws and this locking plate and reassembling it, it's not a big deal. It shouldn't get you to ignore this product at all. It's a very minor complaint. So as of a couple months of use, like I said, about 350 to 400 rounds through each of the 4 that I have. I'm very glad to see these extensions on the market. I'm really glad that Taylor Freelance came out with them. They look pretty good. They look pretty nice finish to them. They work well. They feed well. They should hold up with plenty of use. And I don't see any point in not buying them. I don't see any negatives at this or reliability problems at this time. If you shoot a P30 or P30L, especially for 3-gun or even some other types of competition, they'll allow you to, you know, take advantage of +5 rounds, so getting to 20 rounds. You owe it yourself to go buy these. And even if you had other uses for it, you know, if you've got one as a home defense gun, it'd be useful for that. Even if you want to carry one, you can see the extension is not much wider than the grip. So it wouldn't be so hard to deal with that if you had to carry one, you know, and get 5 extra rounds. So buy with confidence. I'm pretty happy with these so far. So I'm gonna keep using them. And if there's any update that would change my favorable opinion of them, I'll post it at a later time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have fun and stay safe on the range.